Alrighty. So I'm a little late on this because I was out doing stuff and I have a life outside of this channel, believe it or not. Can you bring that light over here, pop it there, and then I'll plug it in? Let a couple people get in here before we get started. I can't even do this because when I do, the music starts playing. So, like,
You can turn it off.
I know, but I don't want to.
Close all those tabs.
So, how's everyone doing? All zero of you. There was one person.
It's about Kayla.
It might be. It might be. It wasn't, though. She wouldn't have left. We'll let people get in here. They always do. But yeah, so, because this will be watched later, it follows. Sequel announcement. This is something that I was definitely not expecting to hear today. We had been speculating this was going to be a reality for quite a while. And all of a sudden, out of nowhere, hey guys, it's Halloween here. Was off to bed, but thought I would pop in. What's up, Lucy? Kaylee is not here for you to compliment at the moment, but she should be here in about 30 minutes. But you'll be asleep by then. Happy Halloween to Lucy. Thank you for stopping by before you enter that eternal slumber. No, she's not dying. it's just a quick slumber. It's a mild slumber. Yeah. I'm assuming you're in a different country, far away.
Or maybe she's just in a land far from here.
All right. Probably Star Wars in a galaxy far, far away. But that's way too loud. Way too bright. Why couldn't the witch's husband get her pregnant? Because he had a Halloweenie. Jesus Christ, Danny. All right. Welcome to the thread. You gotta turn it down just a little. I'm still looking a little pasty over here. Whoa, I am not Casper, but I am friendly, sort of. So, yeah, as you guys can read, if for those of you who can read, yeah, just saw the announcement. I saw the announcement about 4 hours ago, but I was out getting Kaylee some anniversary gifts. That's right. Kaylee and I's 1 year anniversary of being wedded to one another is tomorrow. In some ways, it was like a quick year. In other ways, it feels like it's been like 10 years. So, but it's cool. I was like, oh, I got to go out. So we were out for a while trying to get her gifts, and man, we were striking out right and left, but I'm pretty happy with what we got, even though my dog tried to chew them all up as soon as I got home and then ran out of the house like a little jerk. Okay, that's it. I am never complimenting Kaylee again. No, go ahead. I'm just kidding. I'm in the UK. All right. And if it is eternal slumber, I'm about to have please tell my husband to feed the cats. I don't know your husband, but if I find out that you died, I think he'll find out before me. I think the chances are that your husband will find out well before I do. But you never know. You never know. Thanks for the congratulations. Okay, so it was about 4 hours ago that it was announced. Variety. Oh, well, no, it looks like the Hollywood Reporter and Deadline were the first ones to get to it. Oh no, yeah, Deadline 5 hours ago. Looks like Deadline was on top of it first. So let's read what Deadline has to say. It follows sequel They Follow with Micah Monroe launches. Why does this keep adjusting all over the screen? I keep trying to read the text and it keeps going like bigger and smaller and all over the place. That was awful. No, go away. So now Micah Monroe is returning and David Robert Mitchell is back to helm and write. So he's writing and directing, and Micah Monroe is reprising her role. Now, I have not seen any confirmation yet that our character Paul, played by Keir Gilchrist, is that how you say that guy's name? Will be returning. I don't know where they're going to pick this up because it is 10 years later. I wonder if, she has been surviving for the last 10 years. That's a really good question. I would assume probably. I mean, I can't imagine they're just going to try to make it seem like it's a year later, right? Or less, like a direct follow-up where it's like the next day or something. I don't see them trying to pull that off, but I could see it being less than the actual 10 years that it's been, because it came out in 2014, which is pretty crazy. It just doesn't feel that old, but I guess it is almost 10 years old now. So this is a long awaited follow-up. We've been talking about a sequel to this forever, and there's been so many questions that were left on the table at the end of It Follows, and those were a lot of questions that I honestly never needed answered. I actually quite like just pondering them, much like the ending of The Thing or something, where you're like, is Childs the thing? Is McCready the thing? Are neither of them the thing? Or, if both of them were the thing, then, they probably wouldn't be doing what they were doing. Or do things even know when they're each other? I don't even know. So there's a lot to ponder. And I think with It Follows, there's always been a really good question of like, how long would they last, and how much can you pass it on? And are there any, I do hope that he expands the lore a little bit with the title They Follow. You'd have to assume that there's more than one entity now, or is it the reverse of that? And now, like, is the They Follow could mean a few different things, right? It could be like they are following the demon now and trying to figure out like where it comes from, right? Like they follow the trail of like the dead bodies from the past and trying to make their way up to like where this thing started. It could be like the people that they like passed the curse on to, maybe they are following them too, in addition, right? The person who like they passed it on to plus the demon they're both following them, so now they follow, right? You got the monster and the jilted person. So I feel like the title doesn't really give us a good sense, because it's either more than one monster this time, it's or the other two things I said, or it could be a fourth option that I'm not even thinking of. But as far as a plot synopsis, I don't think that we're getting anything along the lines of one. I'll read more here to see for sure, but I didn't see anything in the other ones that I read. Neon is launching sales this week at AFM to the It Follows sequel. They Follow. Filmmaker David Robert Mitchell is back. I already read all that. A 2024 production start is being eyed. So if its production is starting in 2024, it would be safe to assume that it's going to come out in 2025. Neon will co-produce the film alongside Good Fear Content. So A24 seems to be out on this, which I don't know. I don't think it matters exactly. I'd much rather David and Micah are back than A24, right? It's much more important who the filmmakers and stars are than the studio producing it, for sure, because the talent is in the behind the scenes, like director, writer, that kind of stuff. The producers, I mean, the only thing that's good about production companies and producers is like some producers will give you either more money or more freedom. More freedom is, of course, the one you want. And A24 seems to be a company, but Neon does pretty good as well. So Neon CEO originally handed handled It Follows at Radius, which was a cult theatrical pick, grossing $15 million stateside. Did any one of you see It Follows in theaters? I did. I sure as hell did. There was so much buzz around this movie coming out of the festival circuits. And I was over the moon excited, and it got a pretty limited theatrical run from my memory. And when we went, there was probably only maybe like 15 people in the theater, and It Follows was actually one of the more original, like, elevated horror, if that's what you want to call it, that got a lot of like real split opinions in the community, right? There was like the Babadook, and there was, trying to think of other movies that came out back then that were like that were more artsy, slow burn, atmospheric, family drama, or like indie style, that really split the community hard. It Follows was definitely around the beginning of that kind of. Of course, the horror community has always been split on any kind of movie. That's just film fans in general, but I feel like the A24 split, the rift in the community, started maybe about 10 years ago, where we really started going at each other hard and being like, it's so overrated and it's the greatest movie that's ever been made. There's like so little in between. It's kind of ridiculous, honestly. But I just remember It Follows being one of those movies where people were just like one side or the other. It's so super funny to me. But let's see what we got going on here. Could it be a child born from a cursed person passing it on? That's a great question, Ricardo. That's a fantastic question. If you were to get pregnant while passing the curse on, would your kid... That's a really, really, really cool idea. A kid coming from one of those. Wow. Yeah, I think there's a lot to play around with there. I'm thinking of like a bunch of different options off the top of my head, of like, maybe that thing comes out and is like, that's how those, how the follow demons are born, right? It comes out, and as soon as it can, like, it starts growing faster than normal, and it starts stalking after her, and she's running from her own kid, and there's like multiple of them. Yeah, that's a really great idea, of like the kid having some kind of connection to the demon. I really like that, actually. We'll see. Good idea. So pumped for this, says Drum Dums. Good old Lee McCoy. I'm getting his celebrity in my comment section here. So everyone say hi to Lee, and make sure you subscribe if you are not subscribed. And if you have to choose between one of us, choose me. I'm better. I remember Dimension releasing the first one, so Neon must have picked it up. A24 was... I thought A24... No, A24 was never attached to it, huh? Oh, wow. Someone said it earlier, and I was like, that's funny. When I saw someone say it earlier, I was like, oh, they did? Oh, cool. I didn't remember that, but they did me wrong. I should have followed that up. I should have checked. That's funny. It's my own fault. Okay. But the A24 definitely feels like a company that would have been part of it, but it doesn't matter. But thank you for telling me. Drove about an hour to see it with my ex. Yeah, I saw it with my ex as well. The mother of these little rascals behind me. No, Ricardo, you didn't see it in theaters? Bummer. The Babadook, It Follows, The Witch. Yes, exactly. Agreed. 100%. That's around... which one of those is first? The Witch is like 20... What is that? That's 2016? Isn't The Witch like 2016, around there? 2017? I remember specifically seeing it. Couldn't find... Oh, Babadook is before? What is Babadook? 2013? I hope you choose me over yourself. Do you watch your own self? I don't know if there's a date on here or not.
There should be.
I can't see. It's too damn dark.
Oh, let me do it.
I can just look on IMDb. But that's my copy, which is actually funny because that's a Region B Blu-ray.
2015.
2015, huh? Yeah, 2015, and then the Babadook is 2014, same as It Follows, but did it just come out a little earlier? Seems like it did. Yeah, John, they sure did. They announced it about 4 or 5 hours ago. So super, super awesome. What's up, Maya? I remember specifically seeing it. Couldn't find a parking space in the mall parking structure. We had to literally run to the theater because we were late, but so worth it. Oh man, we just had that happen when we went and saw When Evil Lurks and Exorcist Believer. We went to the theater and there was like an event going on at the stadium. And so all the parking around the theater, which was like big part of, that whole area, was like $35-$40 to park. And I was like, where do we park for the theater? And they're like, well, you can pay $35 or you can go try to find spots somewhere else. So we had to park at like a fast food joint down the street and then run over to the theater. I was pissed. I was like, how is this good for the theater's business? That's so crazy to me. What's up, Brian? How's it going? Yeah. So for those of you who missed what we were talking about, now that there's way more people in here than when I was talking about this. So what do you guys think the title They Follow is in reference to? So I had suggested that it is either A, they follow means, they can still be, used for one person, right? Maybe now the demon has preferred pronouns of they, them, but I doubt that. No, it's 100% not that. So is it more than one demon, right? That would make it a they. Is it the demon and people that they pass the curse on to, which you can only really pass the curse on to one person at a time, but that person can pass it up to another person, so on. Or the third option, which is that they are tracking the death back as far as they can to try to figure out what this thing is to see if they can stop it. I'm kind of honestly leaning the most towards that option. I'm honestly leaning towards they follow the trail of death and carnage over the years back to when this thing started to try to get the answer of how to stop it. That would make the most sense to me. Now, Ricardo had thrown out an idea about what if this has something to do with a kid that was created by them trying to pass this demon on, which is a really cool idea. I don't know how that would play into the title They Follow, but I still do like that idea quite a bit, even if it has nothing to do with the title itself. So, John, you said you wonder if it's 2024 or 2025. It does say in the deadline article here that they're eyeing a 2024 production start. So that would, to me, suggest that we wouldn't get it until 2025 at the earliest. But if they started production early in 2024, it's possible we could get a late 2024 release, but I just doubt it. And I wouldn't say rush it, because I think people would be like, well, you don't want to rush it. It's been 10 years. It's been 10 years. I have a feeling that, David has already had this planned out in his head for a little while, because there's so many questions at this point. He did a good thing here, at least with, I feel like at this point, when you have 10 years separated, you have so many questions that get posed over to you for so long, right? Like when you make an immediate sequel, right? Like if something is super successful and you write a sequel to it quick, there's certain things that you're going to miss out on from the fandom that you wouldn't if you waited a while. Because if you wait years and years, you're going to get that sense of like what people were looking for in a sequel, with questions, with that kind of stuff, right? So I think that at this point, having been 9 years technically now, and by the time they start production, it'll be 10 years, he's probably had enough questions and read enough stuff online and thought about it just himself enough where he has a very good idea of what everyone is looking for, including himself. So and I really wanted an It Follows prequel that took place during the Puritan times. The setting would be great and make the subject matter even more significant. Sure. I mean, that's a great idea. Obviously, with Micah Monroe returning, that's insanely unlikely that we're going to get much prequel material, but it's not impossible that we get some kind of flashback. But the thing that It Follows does really well, and it might piss off some people, but you know, those people are just wrong. No, I'm just kidding. They, you know, the thing that this film does super well to me is that it is really, really ambiguous, and it's not handholdy at all. And there are a lot of question marks at the end of this. And yes, there's always going to be questions about why didn't they try this? Or what if you did this? Or what if blah, 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 right? So I don't know. I want him to explore. I want him to explore the lore. I want him to expand it. I want him to play around with it. But I definitely don't want to get into a territory of, you know, some super intense exposition over explaining yourself. I think that would be you know, a misstep for this story. I like how ambiguous things feel, how, you know, unsure I feel about the rules and what it actually is. The fear is in the mystery. And you don't want this to get too off the rails. You don't want this to turn into, you know, Halloween 6 or something where they're just bending over backwards to try to explain absolutely everything. That just, to me, doesn't sound like a good time. So we'll see. William Friedkin's Bug and TBWP were only horror movies I can recall having debates about with horror fans prior to Babadook. Oh, the Blair Witch Project, huh? Yeah, I would say the Blair Witch Project definitely kind of had that, but at that time, right, there wasn't the internet. So, I mean, it existed because the Blair Witch became popular because of their internet campaign, but it wasn't what it is now. It's not the forum, you know, chat space sphere that it is these days. Can one of you guys get me a glass of water? Por favor. Thank you. So Schmarlos is here to tell us about his day like always. So Schmarlos says, I just ate food today. That's good. I ate ham today. I took out the trash today. Good job, Schmarlos. Everybody, round of applause for Schmarlos. He's a working man. He took out the trash. When I was sleeping, I had a bad dream of the alligator eating a man. The alligator eating a man. I can't wait for 2024 and 2025 just because you want to get older, or is there something happening? Marlos, I took out the trash today too. Look at that. Maya, you're a superhero. I took out the trash yesterday. I guess I'm a loser. I got to take it out every day. Thank you. Why is this half full?
Oh my god!
Who was that? Is that Outback?
Neighbors.
Dude, I'm super stoked. Ty, you and me both, buddy. This was big news for me. This is going to be called They Follows. They follow. Just they follow, not they follows. Whoa. Calm it down. $5 from Jose. What's going on? Hello, Jason. I'm barefoot. Okay. Schmarlos, are you doubling accounts? Yes, day follows. There you go. Thank you, Jose. That's wonderful. And maybe you should take the $5 back and buy yourself some shoes. I want to see a movie where the characters don't know how it spreads, but having seen it follows, we know. Yeah, I mean, oh, you're saying you want to see a sequel where they don't know how to spread the thing. Yeah. I mean, you wouldn't think to do that, right? That's not what would be on your mind when you're being chased by a demon. So you're right. That would be super interesting. That would be cool if Micah passes it on, because we have to assume she passed it on to those guys that she went out onto the boat, swam out to that boat. So I'm assuming, they got killed. And then she passed it on to her little boyfriend. Although did she? I don't even know, because at that point, if you think about it, she swam out to those guys on the boat, and then she was with her boyfriend guy that wanted, it wasn't her boyfriend exactly, but the dude who wanted to be with her, Paul, right? And but were those guys dead by that point? Because you can't pass it on until the person you passed it on to is dead. You can only pass it on one time. And then that person would have to pass it on and pass it on and pass it on and pass it on. So you would have to get it like really far removed. And let's see. It could even be a prequel, but I think it was in the rules that you have to tell the person if that's a good question. It's been a while. This is actually making me want to go back and check it out so I can follow the plot. They follow makes me think it could have a little bit of a They Live Invasions angle to it. Okay. Just from the title. I want to see a super rich guy get the curse who just spends his time flying halfway across the world for a few months and then cries across the world again, pissing off the demon. Yeah. Of course, that's the question, right? Like, what happens if you just get on a boat and you sail out into like the middle of the ocean, and then you like just port at some islands here and there and pick up supplies and get back on the ocean? Like, could the thing ever get to you? Would it swim? It swims. Is that the next? That's the sequel. It flies. We can just keep going with this. Yeah.
It'll change into a fish.
Yeah. Hey, yeah. Is it limited? That's a good point. Is it limited to humans? That's a good point, Elliot. Is the demon in It Follows? Do you guys think the demon in It Follows has to always remain a human? Does it have to look like a human? Could it turn itself into a shark and swim across the ocean? Could it turn itself into a bird and fly? That's actually, I don't know. I don't. That's a good question. It's possible. I mean, we don't know its limitations. So, yeah. Yeah, it's also implied the dude she gave it. Yeah, I know. But doesn't she do that after the guys on the boat? Right? She swims out to the guys on the boat. It's very much suggested that she passed it on to them. And then it's Paul, right? I swear it is. But I didn't even know a freaking production company a minute ago. Yes, Paul. Doesn't she pass it on to him after? Because she would have to know they died, or the guy had died before she could pass it on to him. And did she tell them? Right? Does anyone remember? Does anyone remember if specifically she has to tell people, or does the guy that passes it on to her, does he just want to be courteous? I haven't seen this movie in a while, but hey, why don't they just get with someone with a terminal illness? Yeah, I mean, I don't, it doesn't matter, Maya. If you die, you die. I don't think like the curse dies with you if you die. Right? You pass it on, and then that person dies, and then you're next in line. So it doesn't have to kill you for you to pass it on. So if you just get the thing and then you kill yourself, then it just goes to the next person. So that wouldn't work. Yes, Jacob, I agree with you. I agree that I don't think it's a rule and that it is a strategic move. If you tell somebody, then they know what to prepare themselves for, and they're going to have it longer. So yes, if you don't tell them, of course, then they're just going to die really quickly because they're not going to know anyone's coming for them, and that thing's just going to come up behind you. You're just going to think it's some random person, and it's over for you. So yeah, I agree 100%. I remember Quentin Tarantino saying he liked the movie, but it had too many rules for its own good. I don't think it had that many rules. What are the rules? You have to pass it on, and it never stops following you. What are the other rules? Had too many rules. Is there any other rules than that? It can change forms. Don't ever let it in. I mean, but I don't know. Like, there's not that many rules. That's crazy to me. What? Huh. I'd have to watch the movie again. It has been years, but I don't remember the rules being all that complicated. It's like, don't die. That's pretty easy rule. It never stops following you. That scene when he's telling her and she's like, duct taped to the chair or whatever it is, duct taped or handcuffed or whatever the hell she is. That scene when he's explaining it to her and it's like walking at them, that scene rules. I love that. It's one of my favorite scenes in the entire film. So I don't know. The explanation. I usually am not a fan of like the exposition, but it's actually exposition I quite like. You die and it goes after the person before you. You need to pass it on to someone, and then you have to lock them. You have to imprison them. You have to abduct someone, pass it on to them, and then imprison them in a place that the demon can't get to them. You just, give them food, but they're like in a cage and they can't, the demon can't get to them. That's, that'll at least give you some time. Probably break through eventually. Or send them off planet. Go pass it on to an astronaut that's about to board the International Space Station for like 6 months. then you buy yourself at least 6 months. And or you can just no. Never mind. Jeepers Creepers was a good sequel with the creeper was stabbed the death. What? Schmarlos, you are entertaining. I will give you that. I think it kills in order, meaning you pass it to someone, and if they die, it comes after you, then the person who gave it to you, who gave it to them. Exactly. Yeah. But you can't pass it on to more than one person. It stops with them, and then that person has to pass it on to another person. That person has to pass it on to another person. You can't just go out and be with like 50 people and pass it on to 50 different people. That's not how that works. That one I'm positive on. So just watch When Evil Lurks. Good film, but I thought it kind of fizzled out in the third act. Oh, I disagree. But I'm sorry you felt like that. I love it. I think the whole movie is fantastic. I give my soul to the heavens. I'm between Peacemaker and horror. I don't know what that means. I'm pretty close with Chucky in the future. Is this person like? Is this one of your friends or something? I always wonder how old. Schmarlos, how old are you? I want to know how old Schmarlos is.
35 next year.
Is When Evil Lurks a Spanish? Yes. Yes. The passing of on Talk has made me really want to watch Shocker. Oh goodness. Shocker. 34 years old. 34 months or 34 years? Jason, your kids should be the twins from The Shining for Halloween. So, thank you for reminding me. I wanted to do a video, but I'm going to give you guys a little taste test here to see if this is something. You guys will get a little preview. Next year you'll be 35. Thank you. I can do basic math. Thank you. I know 35 comes after 34.
Maybe he's turning 35 earlier.
He's like, next year I'm gonna be 38.
He was like earlier. I was like, that's what will be November.
Anyway, so
Thank
you. The kids love to have fun. Yes, they do. So something I was gonna do for the channel that I thought would be a fun video is like 5 common horror inaccuracies that most people like are confused about, or like most people think is one way or versus the other. Obviously that's going to have a much better title. I haven't thought of the title yet, but one of them, and I know a lot of you know this, but I had 2 of them. I was going to do 5. I've come up with 2 common inaccuracies that most horror fans believe. So number 1 is the Shining twins. This is obviously one of the more common inaccuracies in horror, right? We know that the Shining twins are actually just sisters. They even specifically say in the film that they are 10 and 8. They are not twins, but even the merchandise, I want to say can you go get that for me? Doesn't it say the Shining twins on the front of this box over here of the thing that I have? Oh, Kaylee's home. Oliver, is that not?
Both of them are locked. I'm sorry.
It's okay. That's fine. But is it not? Doesn't on the merchandise the robot doll? Or no, wait. Is that what we have? The robot dolls? It says the Shining twins, right?
Yeah, it says the Grady twins.
Oh, the Grady twins. Sorry, but yeah, that's super funny to me. That even anything you see on the Grady twins is always twins, and the characters are not twins. So that's one common inaccuracy that we always think of and are completely wrong on. And the other one that I feel is a common inaccuracy that a lot of people are say, and honestly, this was one that I really never even thought of much at the time when because so in Halloween, it's actually right here. In Halloween, if you watch the franchise, the age 17 is very, very like common, right? Laurie Strode is 17. Her son is 17. Allison is 17. They play along. They play around with the age 17 a ton, and so everybody always thinks, and it's always said in the movies, or it's always said, we always say that Judith is 17 years old. But if you look at her headstone and her date of death versus her, versus her birth, she is 16 years old when Michael kills her. She's gonna turn 17 in 10 days, but That's another one that I found to be super interesting. That we always talk about Judith being 17 years old, but Judith is 16 years old. So there you go. It's not the Shining Twins, and Judith Myers is 16 when she dies. Those are two of the five that I'm working on. I was going to make a quick little video that I thought would be fun, just little comment inaccuracies, but yeah. So all right, my wife is home, and let me read the rest of this really quick. But I don't think there's much else to say here.
There's a lot down there.
It just kind of talks about what Mitchell's been up to with making the myth of the American sleepover and Under the Silver Lake, which I did see the Silver Lake one. I liked it. Mitchell is currently in development on an untitled Warner Brothers and Bad Robot project with Anne Hathaway. I found out here from this that Micah Monroe is recently just wrapped production on the Oz Perkins movie Longlegs, starring Nicolas Cage, which Neon will release in 2024. So that's super exciting to see that Oz Perkins is making a horror movie with Nicolas Cage and Micah Monroe called Longlegs. That's awesome. That's awesome for sure. In August, Neon expanded its footprint worldwide with an international sales division that is handling foreign sales on Anna DuVernay's Origin, which Neon will open on December 8th, following its world premiere at the Venice Film Festival and North American premiere in Toronto. Origin. I don't know what that is, actually. Let me look that up really quick before I get off here. It's got Vera Farmiga in it. That's pretty badass. Currently only has a 5.6 on IMDb. It is a drama history, so this is not horror. Never mind. We don't care. Upcoming for Neon. Babes. Doesn't look like anything else. So yeah, it doesn't say anything about release dates. It doesn't say anything about plot. It doesn't say anything about anything. But I just thought it'd be fun to just go live real quick. Schmarlos has some more comments, so we'll get to those. Check. Let's see. We got, yes, I love McDonald's. I didn't ask. Ricardo, McDonald's was my childhood. I am sorry that you lived at a McDonald's. Ricardo, I've been eating McDonald's food meals for 20 years. You might want to check out the documentary Super Size Me. It's got some real impertinent information you might want to check out. Schmarlos, I meant the late comedian. Who? What did he say? You like Norm Macdonald? Oh yeah. Schmarlos thought that Norm Macdonald had something to do with McDonald's. That's pretty freaking funny. Jason, make more horror shorts. They always ask us. They always ask me to. Freddie is at McDonald's and Jason is at Burger King. Like, they work there. Michael is at Sonic. Michael does not work at Sonic. I've been eating Whataburger food meals. What? Meal food 2 years? No, you have not. You come on here and you say, like, I ate a taco today. They don't sell tacos at Whataburger, and you literally just said you've eaten McDonald's for the last 20 years. You liar. Let's go, Texas Roadhouse. The rolls slap. Indeed, or Danny Rowland, Ghostface. What in the holy hell are people talking about right now? Wouldn't Freddie be Subway? Oh, Ricardo. That's a dark joke. Yeah, I'm worried about that. One of the characters is going to say, "It follows," and the girl with the blue hair is going to be like, "Whoa, how do you know it's not they?" Yeah, right. I said that earlier, that it was going to be like a pronoun thing. I still eat taco. At least that grammar is killing. They, them follows. It could be, man. It could be. I'd love to see I'd love him to do it just to piss off all these little sensitive little snowflakes. I get, love to go online and claim that everyone else is so sensitive and, oh my God, why can't someone have an opinion? And why you guys got to be so freaking sensitive about everything? And then somebody is like, These are my pronouns. And they're like, oh my God, you ruined my life. Everyone is sensitive these days. Stop pretending you're not. I never lie about food meal for years. All right, I can't handle anymore. Guys, I love you. It follows, sequel, they follows. Very exciting. And I am going to go hang out with my wife. Our anniversary starts here in 6 hours, and we are going to be enjoying ourselves. We are seeing Halloween on Halloween in theaters at 7 o'clock tomorrow. I am excited. This will be my third time seeing it. Her first.
I get to see my friend tomorrow.
It is not we did not meet on Halloween. We got married on Halloween. We met in late February. I think February 27th, if I remember correctly. But anyways, thank you, Maya. I appreciate it. Schmarlos, you are the best at being the worst. Duratin, how's it going, buddy? Thank you. Great news. Can't wait for this to come out. Happy anniversary. Yes. Thank you. Thank you, everybody. We love you. Good night. God bless. And all the good stuff.